right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises to the Most High.
When
to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Now, we're out here to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom and the establishment of a righteous one. All right, we're heralding in the coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Now, there's a particular fashion in which that's going to take place. So we're looking for prophecy. Prophecy is chief when we deal with the Bible. Prophecy allows us to have a strong confidence, you know, and as things begin to break loose, as things begin to happen in the world, because we know things have to play out a particular way, thus saith the Lord. So we don't get dismayed at the calamities that happen upon the earth. We line it up with the scriptures, and we say, hey man, these things must come to pass. All right, but first, let's go to Isaiah the 9th chapter. And you can start at 5, because we'll make that point about World War III. World War III is prophesied in the Bible. Right. The captivity of the so-called Black, Latino, Native American people is prophesied in the Bible. The conditions, the mindset of our people is prophesied in the Bible. The financial state of the world is prophesied in the Bible, man. No other book, no other philosophy gives you the answers like the scriptures do.
We told you the pandemic was coming.
Yeah.
That's in the scripture.
Way ahead of time. I remember watching a clip. My brother put a clip up about 6 years ago. One of the brothers in Atlanta was saying, hey man, it's gonna be pestilence out here. You ain't gonna be able to go to no basketball game. 2 years later, the pandemic, you know? So that's where the power lies, man, in the prophecy. That's been given to the Lord's servants, the prophets. Amos 3:7. But you got that?
Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise.
Every war up until this point that we're stepping into has been fought in a particular fashion, right, brother? Right. Guns going off, you know, people in the trenches, close quarters, close combat, right? But it's going to make a differentiation in this precept because the war that's getting ready to come is going to be fought completely different. It's going to be fought with thermonuclear missiles, man. Which they too are prophesied in the scriptures. Go ahead.
It says, in garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So it talks about the war of Armageddon. Go read Joel the 3rd chapter, all the nations being gathered, right? But immediately after that happens, something else is going to take place. Go ahead.
Verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder.
This is talking about Yahushua, the one that was sent to be a savior unto Israel, to give them repentance for their sins. Okay, the government of the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth, is going to be upon his shoulders. Okay, he's going to be the top spirit of the kingdom of heaven. And after that, you got King David, and you got the rest of the 144,000. There's a structure, there's an order to the kingdom. Everybody's just not going to be free willy-nilly, floating on clouds. No, it's going to be a government. It's going to be a way of righteousness that people have to abide by. Right. We're going to enjoy the fullness of life. People are going to have children and not worry about, them going around the block. All right? The earth is going to be reestablished in righteousness.
Back to corporate rise.
Yeah, this ain't Aladdin, man. The Lord is far more complex than that. Go ahead.
Hey, I add too, man, when you read these scriptures about, the kingdom of heaven and Yahushua ruling, it said he's going to sit on the throne of his father David, man. Now, when you look back in the history, man, in the book of Samuel, man, what was David doing, man? Was everybody in the kingdom? Was everybody in David's kingdom? All nations in David's kingdom equals? No. You see, he had all the heathen under his subjection. Likewise, that's going to be the same concept when Yahushua returns to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth, man. All these nations are going to be in subjection unto the nation of Israel, man. Once again, it's going to be a forever rulership, man. You see?
Is the brother making that up? This is Isaiah 14:1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. Now, when the children of Israel go back to their own land, that's the beginning of the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. Because we don't get to go back unto the Holy Land until the curses are lifted. And when are the curses lifted? Well, you have to go to the last book of the Bible and read the 3rd verse. And that too is upon the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. So the Israelites are supposed to be under the curses as it is this day. All right? And set them in their own land. The strangers shall be joined with them. The strangers here is talking about Israelites, Israelite foreigners. Because we've been scattered into every nation under heaven. The diaspora, right? Now, the bulk of our people are going to look like the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American. But by the seed of their fathers, every land there's going to be Israelites that look like everything. When we get our new bodies, they'll get their pigmentation back. You know? The stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Now, verse 2 is the point I'm going to add for the brother. And the people shall take them.
It said, read the last part of that verse.
Verse 1?
Yeah.
And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Yeah, when you go, let me get that word cleave real quick, man. It's Isaiah 14 and 1 for the word cleave. All right, it says shapah. It says to join, to attach to join together. It says, yeah, to join oneself, man. You see, now everybody, when you read that, you know what I'm saying? That show when you actually have an understanding of the scripture, you understand that all nations can't be joined unto the nation of Israel, man. Right. You see? That's why when you read, the scripture, man, it talks about be joined together. It talks about, you know, how the Lord is gonna bring those sticks back together. You know, gonna be joined back into one nation, man. There ain't gonna be no split of the nations, but like I said, man, no heathen nation can be joined unto the nation of Israel. You can read that when you read about the covenants, man. When you read the Hebrews about the covenant, man, it says with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Right? You see? Now, if this Bible was for everybody, when you get all the salvation is for everybody, when you think it would be important for the Lord to put that in that verse when it's actually talking about the covenants, the new covenants, you see? Yeah.
But it's on the day when I ain't for everybody.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, right there.
Matthew 1 and 21, get straight to the point. All right, and it says, and she, all right, and she's going into Mary. It says, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh. And it says, and he shall save his people from their sin. So, like I said, when they join hand in hand, they ain't finna join hand in hand with the other nations. When Yahweh, like I said, he's gonna save his people, not every other nation. Not what the Christians expect you to think. So if that's the case, why would he be setting up for what? A downfall of these other nations. Right. Babylon the Great, all right? He tell you to sit down in the desert, O virgin daughter of Babylon, there's no throne. Who is he throwing down if he's gonna save everyone? All these nations. No, he's gonna save his people. All right?
Yeah, Luke 177 says to give knowledge of salvation unto his people by the remission of their sins. Going into it's talking about the children of Israel, bloodline descendants.
Right.
Okay? So, you know, you can sit here all day and go through the precepts in the Old and the New Testament, proving that the covenants pertain unto one people. Really, you could just go to Romans 9 and 4, you know, but I was reading Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 2 to back the brother up. It says the people, hey, yo, what?
And attention shit.
Yeah, Isaiah 14 and 2. Damn. All right. It's and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord. Who are they possessing? Possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
All right, one more time, select it.
Isaiah 14 and 2 again from the top. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Yeah, so possession. You possess your car, your house. What does that mean? You own it. You see, it's yours, man.
That's right.
For servants and handmaids, man. Slavery.
Yes.
You see?
The scriptures also tell you that he's going to give the children of Israel a heathen for thine inheritance. Okay? And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Man, that's a cut. They're going to take them captive, who captive they were.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to go into slavery, man. That's righteous judgment, man. You see? That's right. That's balance. That shows the balance of the Lord, man. You see? Even when you're going,
and that's why the coming of the Lord is such a mind-boggling event when you read the scriptures. It's a reason it's such a big deal. It's a reason every eye's going to see him, and it's made so extravagant, because it's the turning of the world on its head. Yeah. Verse 6, and then we'll go to Microphone. If I never rock on.
All right, back in Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6, It says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Prince of Peace. The only way peace is truly going to be established on the earth is by this place falling down.
Right.
Now, again, for these other nations, there's going to be a learning period. There's going to be a 1,000-year learning period in which the wickedness has to be broken and beaten out of you. The same way y'all beat righteousness out of the children of Israel.
Right.
Okay, it's going to be reversed. Okay, now let's go to Micah 4, because when you talk about prophecy and the kingdom of heaven being established, there's a particular order in which things have to happen. And as a man of the Lord or as a believer, period, there's particular things you ought to look for, so that you can't be deceived by any, the trick cards this devil tries to play in this home stretch. Go ahead.
Micah 4, verse 1. And it reads, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord.
Now, when the scriptures refer to mountains, okay, it's referring to a government or a power that be. Okay, we're going to be the sole world power upon the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. Israel today is not the sole world power on the earth. So that's another strike. Because if they're in the Holy Land, the kingdom of heaven is supposed to be being established immediately.
Also, the Bible says, give the Lord no rest until Jerusalem becomes a praise in the earth.
Yeah. Jerusalem ain't no praise in the earth, man. Man, they got what, the Pink City thing going on over there?
Yep.
Hey, it's that's a hot spot for sodomy.
Right. Yeah, if Iran, like you said, they ain't praising it. They talk about blowing it up every day.
Yeah. Oh, another, and this is gonna be another in Micah 4. Since you said that, add to your point. Let's go ahead and read it.
This is back in Micah 4 and 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountain.
Yep.
And it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it.
People are gonna flow into Israel for what? The law, the understanding on how to operate. And if they don't, like it says in Luke, all those my enemies that would not serve me, bring hither and slay them before me, man.
Right.
There's going to be a zero tolerance policy for wickedness in the kingdom of heaven. That's not the case here.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the top of the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his way.
Because we're not going to have to teach each other. The scriptures talk, I believe in Corinthians, correct, about us receiving new bodies, laws being written within our inward parts. We're not going to have to teach our neighbor, meaning fellow Israelites, because we're not going to be like regular humans. We're going to be a step up.
Right.
We're going to be what this devil is trying to achieve with his artificial intelligence, become a superhuman or a super soldier, whatever he's trying to do. That's something we get with the authentic blessing day one. His artificial blessing, man, he got to work out the creeks, and he's not going to even get to do it. He's a fool.
Right. And the scriptures also say in Jeremiah 31 and Hebrews 8, it actually says that we're not going to teach each man his neighbor. Which we know the scriptures say neighbor is talking about your brother, your nation.
Right, because we're going to be made perfect. I see small hats every day, sneezing, dying, aging. No, man, that's not going to be the case for those of the chosen line in the kingdom of heaven. Even the 2/3 when they come back. They're not going to be sneezing.
Right.
They're not going to need 7 heart transplants like the one, the banker that passed, Rockefeller.
Right.
They're not, come on, man. If there's boxes you must check when you talk about prophecy. I'm going to need it in here in a second here. The water, brother.
They can use 2 cords.
Yep. I got a cord that goes to both devices too. Y'all in charge. Okay. All right, go ahead.
And it says in the middle of verse 2, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path.
All right, so that's the one world government right there. But it's not going to be ruled by Esau. Okay, go ahead.
For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahweh Shai from Jerusalem.
Yeah, man. Right now, there's not a one world law coming forth out of Jerusalem. So who are the people in the Holy Land? Because when we go back, this is going to be what's going on.
Right.
real quick. Going into that, man, exactly what we're going into, man. In 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 25 in the GNT, it says, "This is the meaning of the vision. The man you saw coming up out of the sea represents the one whom God Most High has kept ready for many ages." It says, "He will free the world he created." It says, "and establish the new order for those who survive." You see, kingdom of heaven,
Yeah.
new order.
Yeah, that's the new world.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Word, new world.
And righteousness.
Yeah.
Said free the world. So we let you know now the world isn't free. Who is basically is over the world in? It's our Esau Edom.
Yeah.
So the Lord's gonna come and basically break us out of jail, basically. That you
And
know,
the brothers talking about the children of Israel. We gonna be made free.
right? Yeah, that's
Because right now we not free. Because some people listening might be like, oh, you're not talking about everybody.
exactly.
Okay, you're talking about the children of Israel. I would love about them.
Hey,
What?
Isaiah 9, Isaiah 9 and 6. It said, "For unto us a child is born." It didn't say unto everybody. It said unto us. Who is the us? The nation of Israel.
Us separates everything.
Yep.
That's a separation.
Elder Yashimab always says, if I say, hey, let's go to my house, we don't have to tacos. We have some lamb tacos. If I talk to all these random people, these spooks walking around out here,
Right.
well, no, man. It's talking about a specific arrangement of people. All right, cosmos.
That's right. Back in Micah 4 and 3, it says, "And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their..."
Sanctions. Okay, and our sanctions gonna be otherworldly. If you going off in the kingdom of heaven, ain't gonna be no rain. It's gonna be a famine in your
Be
land.
like this.
That's a different kind of sanction. That ain't we ain't gonna have to write it on a piece of paper.
Right.
Put on the door like, look, Title 6, 106.
Hell no.
It's what happened automatically.
And the other nations gonna be like, oh, we tried to go buy corn from the Ammonites. They said they had crops in 6 months.
Right.
People, you know what I mean? The sanctions gonna be much different.
It says, back in verse 3, it says, "And rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares." And it says, "And their spears into pruning hooks."
So what this is here is the opposite of Joel, the 3rd chapter. Because in Joel, the 3rd chapter, we'll get it. Somebody can get Joel 3. It talks about the gathering of the nations for Armageddon, for World War III. That great battle that's going to take place right before the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. That's why we went to Isaiah, the 9th chapter. Because it talks about that war and the fashion in which it's going to be fought. And then immediately after that, the next verse, it talks about the government being on the Son of Man's shoulder. Okay? So right now, nations are gearing up for war.
Right.
Okay, in the kingdom of heaven, nations aren't going to learn war anymore. We'll continue on. I think it might say it in the next chapter. Nations aren't going to learn war anymore in the kingdom of heaven. So that's another sign, okay, that the people over there in that land, they're not the people.
Right.
Because there wouldn't be war happening anymore. They wouldn't be out over there farting and sneezing and doing all that, dying and looking nasty and sodomy. They wouldn't be doing all those things.
Right.
Law would be going forth from the land of Israel. There wouldn't be, we wouldn't have to fly to Uganda and say, hey, you guys, you should be doing this, what's her name, the vice president? Yeah, and, there wouldn't be nobody flying in some other country telling them that you got to accept the alphabet lifestyle. You understand? Go ahead, finish that mic and then we'll go to Joel 3. Read the contrast.
Back in Micah 4, verse 3, but it says, "And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore."
So as a man of the Lord, or just simply as a believer, these are prophecies that you should know so that lies can't be told.
Right.
The reason in Matthew the 24th chapter, it says, if it were possible, they should receive the very elect. If it were possible happens because the elect, they know the new song. They know the fashion in which things are supposed to take place. So there's no deceiving them. The Lord is with them so they can't be deceived. But they have the 100% understanding for this time on what they need to cross the finish line.
Right.
Okay?
What I say, they said it will basically you ain't gonna learn war or go a nation to go against a nation. Now you just had NATO have one of the largest games together. Basically what they call them, like the war game. what they're doing. They're practicing. They're preparing, getting the game plan for war. So it can't be talking about these the times that we're in right now, present time, because it said no nation will rise up against another nation. These are nations that's constantly rising up against another nation. War in Ukraine, all right? You have India and China always victory. You have Russia talking about they blow America off the face of the map. They get ready to nuke them. Come on, this is constantly war talk. Rumors of war.
Yeah, is that it? Is that it?
Okay,
Go to
keep going.
3 and finish. Yeah.
Okay,
Started like verse.
Yeah, this is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, that all the men of war draw near.
And that's what's happening now. You got all the nations gathering off the coast of Iran, sending and mobilizing troops. You got Japan for the first time in decades, remilitarizing. All right? And they've been demilitarized for decades. And now something is inspiring us to change that problem. This Lord is storing up the spirit of the nation. That's what we're reading about. Okay?
It says, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
And that's why you're seeing all these military displays in every country. They're always just showing glimpses of this new technology that they have for war. And I like it. I want to see them get it on, man. Them boys out there squabbling. Because I know in the middle of it, the Lord gonna show them who the ultimate squabbler is. Okay, we'll read about that too after. Go ahead.
Verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
So what's the purpose for this war? The purpose is because the Lord is going to plead with these people. Justice is going to be served. Because all these nations that are named here, majority of them are mentioned in what? Psalms 83. They were confederate against the children of Israel. So they think they finna, they fighting for a piece of the pie, the New World Order that at least are trying to build. Well, really, they're being brought to court.
Right.
This is all the nations being brought to court for their conspiracy against the nation of Israel, man.
Verse 12, it says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge the heathen round about.
And when you go to the second Ezra 16 or 13, go to Lord, 13. So we go to second Ezra 13, read that couple precepts of the Lord intervening in the midst of this war that's going to take place. Okay, because they're gonna stop fighting each other in the middle of that war, and they're gonna turn to fight the Most High, who's gonna come upon a chariot, a father. And these devils have been trying to water down, all these UFO sightings and make it out to be something that it's not, to kind of keep a lid on things. But the scriptures tell us what these things are in the sky, what people are seeing. They had that sighting in Vegas.
Yeah.
You want to speak on it? Yeah, they had that sighting in Vegas recently. They've been having hundreds of sightings that they take down off the internet out of the people from around the Ukraine area. Hundreds of them, and they always get taken down. Okay, and the angels are revealing themselves. That it was that whole. It was like a year ago. They had a Foot Locker commercial. What's the comedian? The black guy. I forget his name. Morgan. Tracy
Morgan.
Yeah, the UFOs were coming over the city. He was like, I'm sure they come in peace. And they started zapping the city. And you notice in that commercial, all the white people started scrambling and running, but the black people in the commercial was just like, all right, that was spiritual to me.
Yeah.
Because for us, for those who are seeking the Lord in righteousness, when that so-called alien invasion takes place, for us it's going to be peace. It's our deliverance, but it's a destruction for 2/3 of the rest of the nation. You can see,
Back in Joel chapter 3 and verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The vats overflow,
wickedness is great.
And then a great judgment is going to take place. The Lord's going to set a brand new high score on the death toll.
Yep.
When you go to Isaiah, the 9th chapter, and I know the brother Stark likes that chapter 2. When you go to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, 15 and 16, it tells you that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. As a wave is compared to a drop. Man, but this lot of people got to be reset button, man. You understand? Anybody else got a pass out?
No. This is Isaiah 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. And you just mentioned it. What's going to happen after he gathered to judge these people? Like I say, he's going to bring them to Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh's judgment. He's going to plead with them. So what's he's going to, when he come forth, I think it's in 2nd Ezra 13, he's going to come forth and he's going to bring forth fire. All right, what is that fire going to do? It's going to kill and cleanse at the same time. Kill and cleanse. So he, and he said, for what? His anger. Why is he angry? Why is he so angry? But we just saw just passed. For the moles that's running rampant. That's something that Esau has allowed. All right, for what? For Israel has been oppressed. Like you say, he's going to deliver us and break us out of this captivity. This is what he's come setting us up for. He's going to set up for what? A kingdom that's going to be established. Every kingdom that used to be established, what happened? They had to go through war. There's going to be a lot of death that's going to occur. Then the kingdom be set up. Look at history.
Because the Lord ain't going to let the righteous down with the wicked.
Right.
That ain't designed for that. I agree with you.
2nd Ezra 13, in verse 23, it says, the one who brings the dangers in those days will also protect from danger the people who have stored up good works and faithfulness with the Most High, the Almighty. You see, this is back in, man. You see, go ahead. The Lord is going to bring this. He's going to bring this destruction, but he's the same one who brings the destruction. He's going to protect the wicked, man. See, he's not going to allow the righteous to get swept away with the wicked, man. You see, the Lord is going to put a separation, okay, between the righteous and the wicked, man. And you can read about that separation in Psalms 91, man. You see, it goes into those 10,000 on our right side and 10,000 on our left side, man. You see, putting a separation, man, between judgment going out and then those who going to have that the wild that cover them, man. You see that mark of exemption, man. You see, but I want to make a point because you had mentioned that what brothers are going through, man. The scripture talk about an invasion. Esau knows about this, man.
Yeah.
Esau knows that Yahweh Shai is coming back, but his job is to what? Is to deceive the masses, just like you mentioned that Las Vegas thing. Bro. Yeah. Esau makes shit like that. Aliens. Oh, we seen they were 8 foot, they had big eyes. Esau doing that what? To deceive the people, man. Okay, to ultimately what? To fight against the Lord, man. Because a lot of you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans, you are in this man's army, man. You see? A lot of y'all are being prepped and deceived right now until eventually fighting against your own power, man. You see?
Fighting a losing battle.
Right. If I can add to the brother mentioned, I think you read that about those flames, that fire, man. The reason the Lord is going to bring that fire is because the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, and that's what he's implemented in the earth. And like it says in Isaiah the 60th chapter, this earth is in darkness, and these people in gross darkness. You know what I'm saying? And that darkness represents lies, deceptions, evil, wickedness, iniquity. You know, all of these things are what's going through the four corners of the earth. The Lord is going to come, bring that cleansing agent, burn everything up, mash the reset button, and start everything over. Then we're going to Matthew 6 and 10 is going to come to pass. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, man. That perfect righteousness and order like it is in the heavens, man. That's not being done right now. That's not happening in the earth. That's why in the book of Genesis, chapter 6, it says, it repented to Lord that have created the people. Right? That's wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. See, it's like that Genesis 6, man. So that same thing happened in Genesis 6 is the extension over here today. You know, we talked about it now, like you said, 2nd Ezra 15 to go tied in with them, man. It wasn't a call. That extended all the way from then to now. So same thing, the Lord is repentant to have made creation, man. Because you people really just walking vessels. Really, you people in the way, man. Right. You just living for nothing at the end of the day.
Hey, like you said, besides the gross darkness, what Yahweh shall say, man love darkness, man. They love to be. These people love fulfilling the lust of their flesh. They love this, but they don't want any order and structure, man. They don't want correction from the Heavenly Father on how you should conduct yourself in life, man, and the laws you should follow, and you know what I'm saying, the guidelines you should follow, man. They don't want that. They want to do their own thing. So the Lord is coming back to do away with the people with that mindset, man. Yeah. What is He gonna do? He gonna save their remnant and start a new world, a new heaven, and a new earth, as the scripture talks about, man.
Okay, guys. And what differentiates the elect from those people is that they're not clunging to the flesh like that. They're willing to give up their own lives to stand for righteousness. All right, that takes faith, and that's pleasing to the Lord, which is why they're going to receive immortality. Okay, I mean, you ask everybody wants to live forever.
Right.
They might tell you something different, but they BS you.
But nobody want to do what it takes to live forever.
That's right. You have something, or I cannot read it? You have something?
I'll say it.
Okay. Okay, you can finish that second.
No.
This thing is going to transition.
Okay, you when you start to talk.
You had the point.
Oh, yeah, I just been I ain't reading the part about the book.
Okay, yeah. Let's get that point. Then we'll
All right, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 13 and verse 1. And it says, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven."
Now this man is Yahweh Shai. The scriptures tell you that he's not gonna beat them as a mere mortal when he returns.
Right.
He's gonna beat them as a great power. This is the description of that. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, "And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him, and whatsoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice."
Now in the movies, when they show you, especially, we always use Independence Day because it's the most accurate depiction that we can give you, visual aid. When something enters into the atmosphere, it causes the earth to shake. So all things trembling beneath him, that gives you a visual aid. When he enters into the atmosphere, there's going to be something that's going to cause the entire earth to shake.
That's right.
That's
the force that's coming behind
it. And he's going to have a whole, he's going to have the angels with him too, man, a whole fleet.
That's a lot of vibration, man.
The scriptures tell you every eye shall see him. Okay? So there's no reason any of the elect will be deceived by saying, "Oh, how much he's over here." It's not going to be a secret.
Right.
It's going to be the most public thing ever.
Right.
You understand? Oh, the water.
Hey, back in 1 you gotta remember Esau got that Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
He gonna make that like with that assessment that he putting out right now about these different.
He's gonna play the trick cards. Man.
Yeah, the aliens and all this shit. He gonna try to deceive. But like you said, impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah, the elect is gonna understand the prophecies, man, and know, like you said.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not the Lord, man.
Yeah. Even if Esau put up Project Blue Beam and the Lord came and gave a 10-minute speech and he made it where it seemed like the Lord came and gave a speech.
Yeah.
We know that ain't it.
Yeah.
He can make that shit look real as he want to make it look.
Yeah.
He can put Apostle Harp on the news with his AI and make it seem like Apostle Harp says shit he didn't say. We're gonna be like, nah. There's no lie. You can't deceive the elect.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of Israelites that do get deceived.
Right. Yeah.
But the elect, they know, there's a particular fashion. It's very particular how the Lord is gonna return. All right, go ahead.
And if I can add real quick, just to add to that, the Lord tells you he's a man that he cannot lie. The word that he speaks is not going to come back to him void.
Yeah.
So how he presented it is how it's going to happen. Point blank, bottom line, period.
He said what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what the nigga woman said.
That's it.
I said what I said. The Lord said what he said. It's going to happen in a particular fashion.
That's right. Isaiah 66:18, it says, "For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory." Woo. That's going to be the glory that you're going to see. So we're going to know when the Lord comes. Like I said, you're going to have the Project Blue Beam, and Esau's going to be trying to do his generic representation.
Great value version.
Yeah, great value version. But when the Lord actually to show his glory, you're going to know it. Like I said, you're going to feel a vibration in the earth. It's going to have the earth shaking. All right, so that's when you're gonna know when the Lord shows up. It could be something that an earthly person, eyes or ears have seen or heard.
He came holy as a lamb.
Yeah.
Right. I ain't come up against him.
That's balance.
I didn't want to receive him when he was meek.
Right.
Okay, now, y'all finna meet Al-Shaji. You gonna meet how you gonna
Coming back
meet
to
Al-Shaji now.
that ego spirit.
See, he came as Yahweh Shah. He's forgiving.
Right.
Yahweh Shah forgives sin.
Yeah.
To the Israelites.
Yeah.
So you don't want to listen. Now you can meet Al-Shaji.
Yeah.
Like how Jake have, like Beyonce have this.
Alter ego.
Now you can meet the most.
Yahweh Shah has an alter ego.
He came as a lamb.
Yeah.
Now you finna come in.
Finna
Now
meet
you
the
can
lion.
Al-Shaji. Now you can lion. Yeah. Go ahead, you got it.
Listen. All right, Sirach 16 and verse 18. It says, "Behold, the heavens and the heavens of heavens, the deep and the earth, and all therein is, shall be moved when he shall visit. The mountains also, and the foundations of the earth, be shaken with trembling when the Lord looketh upon it."
Okay. If the foundations of the earth are shaking, what's happening? Earthquakes. Hey, let me tell you something. When this Amagawan is done, the landscape of the earth is going to look different. The scriptures talk about the earth reeling to and fro like a drunkard. You ever seen a strong drunk man trying to walk forward? He just the earth is going, the landscape is going to look different. And I reckon that the land of Israel, the borderlines, the way it even looks, it's going to be different. It's going to be, first of all, we're getting our land extended. It tells you that. I can't remember the chapter right now, but it tells you about our borders being extended. All right? But even after this, the landscape is going to look different too, man. We might have more beachfront. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
It happened during the flood.
Yeah.
That's when the earth split up.
Yeah.
So, that was the first death. What is it called? This is the second death.
Yeah.
So you know something.
It's going to be some changes.
Right. Hey, you can when you go back and you read Exodus, how the chariot was on Mount Sinai, it showed how it was thundering in the earth. You know what I'm saying? So imagine when the actual Father, the Lord brings a fathership back, plus the rest of the angels. Man. This place is gonna shake. Man. It's gonna
Every day. And Aparatazal, we a part of that number that get to look down to the bottom of the chariot and look at it all, man. With those blue eyes. Those eyes that Esau wanted. Y'all remember that movie Get Out?
Yeah.
Behold the coagulant. You know, you ain't gonna get the eyes that we gonna get.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, right up. I got one real just to add to that point. You know, it makes sense because earthquakes, volcanoes going off, erupting, create new land masses.
Yes.
Because America's a big ass motherfucking place, man.
Yeah.
And the Lord is finna just totally wipe America off the map.
There gotta be some new
That's gonna
shit.
take a whole lot of land mass away, man.
Yeah, you take-
So the Lord's gonna replace that. That's gonna have to be replaced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense. That's part of that, the changing in the earth, like the kind we're going into, man.
Yeah.
Which that makes sense, man.
Because even think about it, man. They say the earth is what, like 80% water or something, 60% water? 60. It's more than half.
Yeah.
So when these new land masses are created, man, it's gonna be some nice stuff going on,
Right.
man. Because America simply just needs to be a flag of remembrance for what not to do.
Right.
You don't need to just be taking up all that space.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a place where animals can go and dwell and do their thing.
Yeah.
Spring break for the animals. That's
Right.
what this place gonna be.
Yeah.
It is Isaiah 65 and 17. It says, "For behold, I created new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind." And that new heaven and new earth, that's that new creation. Like I said, we had those different land masses that are going to be created. It's going to be a new heaven and a new earth that's going to come about, right? Because everything's going to change. It's going to be a shift. The earth is going to be basically transformed to something new, and we're going to be able to be the first fruit of that. All right, the rulers of this land. In verse 19, it says, "And I will." 18. It says, "But be ye glad and rejoice forever, all right, in that which I created. For behold, I created Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy." All right, so he's gonna set up for what? We're gonna receive new bodies. to basically come down and rule over the new heavens and the new earth.
Right. Man, that's dope. Now, oh, you finished that in 2nd Ezra?
No.
Okay, so let's go.
All right, Second Ezra, back in 2nd Ezra chapter 13, in verse 4, well, verse 5, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heavens to subdue the man that came out of the sea."
Now, we read in Joel, the 3rd chapter, but all those various nations, same nations that were mentioned in Psalm, the 83rd chapter, that were confederate against Israel, gathering, to make war. Gathering to make war. Now, these are the same people being mentioned here who are going to turn and fight the Most High, even though they're going to know it's a losing battle.
Right.
Just when they see it, when they see the skies crack, you know you ain't gonna win.
Right.
Come on.
It says, verse 6, "And I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it." Verse 7, "But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not."
The chariot as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
You ever seen a naval carrier? It's big, but you can see the end of it.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
This is a chariot as far as the eye can see. With concentrated fire coming out of the front. Or wherever they wanted to come out.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 8, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, they all which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet their spite."
The Lord's going to put the spirit on them to fight. Because the Lord can control a man's actions. He does. He went into free will, his class, past class. All right? The same way the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart and made him chase after the children of Israel. He saw the water splitting so they could escape. But in his head, it made sense to follow.
Right.
Hell no. Anybody in their right mind would be like, it's probably not the best idea.
Right. Right.
But the Lord going to put the spirit on them to play tough.
The Captain America spirit that we see on Endgame, when they were through,
Yeah.
the shield broken. He the only one on the battlefield of a whole army. He tightened his arm, his shield up on
I
his
can
arm.
do this
to go
all
up.
day.
Yeah.
We're going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got the spirit there. And that movie, Captain America, is the epitome of America.
Yeah.
You know? Shit, he all good, but when you go look at the background, he did so much bullshit, criminal, you know what I'm saying? He's a damn criminal. That's how America is.
Yep.
And that's what the Lord is going to do to him. He's going to break his shield down, but hey, like Captain America had his army coming later on, there ain't gonna be no, hey, this army's going to be decimated by how about you now shot.
So you ain't got no plan Z.
Nope.
Yeah.
No shit is plan E.
It's over with. But the state of your being in the kingdom of heaven is already expressed in the chapter we already touched on, Isaiah 14, verse 12. The nations are going to look at you, they're going to say, is this the man that did shake kingdoms?
Yep.
You're going to be brought down to the dust. Isaiah 47.
Yep.
Come down and sit in the dust. O virgin daughter of Babylon.
It says, verse 9, "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he lifted up, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire."
So the concentrated laser beams are just going to eviscerate all of them in one shot. Now, the reason I love this precept so much is because read the part where it says he lifted up neither hand nor.
It's verse 9, "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his head nor held sword."
So it's right here, it's illustrating for the audience the effortlessness that is going to take the Lord to eviscerate all the nations of the earth, to show his strength, to show the great disparity of, look, man, these you people are low level. So when we read this as believers,
Right.
it should give us confidence that these people can't do nothing to us unless the Lord allows it.
Right,
There's
right.
no fear that that's what you should get from that. The little details like that are put there for us, for our confidence to be built up. The Lord is going to effortlessly destroy our enemies. So regardless of what we see going on, when we're going through Jacob's trouble, there's going to be some shit. We're going to see some shit like, oh, they got robot dogs. They got invisible cloaks and shit. We're going to see some things like, oh my goodness. But we always got to keep in mind that the Lord is going to make child's play of them.
Right.
So the power that protects us, they can't even come close. So with that, this reading this should give you confidence. All right? Read it again, brother.
Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his head, nor held sword, nor any instruments of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke.
So that's the judge, the chief judge dropping the gavel. Boom. Life. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the beginning of the justice to come. That's the beginning of that gets me excited reading, man. You see? So yeah, man, our confidence, especially in these times, should be leveling up on a regular basis. Yeah, man. We're gonna have concubines and all different nations too, man. We're gonna enjoy the earth in full. Okay? And you know what? The nations are gonna rejoice when the righteous are in authority. So that was it on that. Now let's get into the conduct that we need to have until Sky Daddy comes back and we get delivered. It's a joke that me and Black by have. They said, "Oh, you waiting on the Sky Daddy?" Yes, we are. Okay. Acts 3:19.
Man, for us that's in this walk, including myself, we gotta protect our energy, man. If shit's getting tight, we gotta make sure we don't give our energy to like people and stuff.
Yeah.
We gotta protect it, man.
You gotta be indifferent to these people.
We gotta, at this point, it's totally against it.
Yeah.
We got to. The Lord's God family, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Not them.
We're against wickedness in the earth, but like the elder is saying, you should be to a point in the spirit to where you're not letting it affect you. Right. It affects you fulfilling your duties on a regular basis. Yeah, you're gonna be vexed from day to day with the filthy conversation of the wicked. But right now, we know particular things have to happen. We know iniquity has to abound. We just gotta be locked on what we need to be doing. Screw these people. Let's focus on what we need to be doing.
Right.
Because we done talked to niggas till we was blue in the face. We've been telling this devil about itself. We're gonna keep telling about itself. But you know what? We just gotta watch it play out now. We gotta continue to give our daily sacrifices, making our lessons, walking uprightly, and we're gonna get into the conduct. But then we just need to focus on seeking righteousness, seeking meekness, so we may be hidden in the Lord's anger. It's knocking on the door, man. Yes,
Like I said, going into the mindset and attitude, and conduct on how we should be, basically preparing ourselves in these times. Just real quick, Philippians 4:12 in the NLT, it says, I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. You see? And when I read this, when I always read the scripture, I always think of how Bruce Lee said, be like water.
Yeah.
You see? Because water can, like he said, you pour it in a bottle, it becomes the bottle.
Yeah.
It can change form and know how it can just form to anything, man. And that's how you got to be in this truth, man. You see? Especially in the times that we're coming into, man. That's why the Lord is putting us through particular situations, man, so that we can be that. We can be like water. We'll be able to, whatever the situation is, whatever situation we get put in, we'll be able to form.
It gets cold, be hard, return to ice.
Yeah,
hot,
man.
Return to a gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
straight up.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's 100% adaptable.
Right.
And the only way you can become 100% adaptable when Jacob's Trouble popped off is if the new song is in you, man.
Right.
And if you're walking it, if you've been walking it, with this grace period, we were supposed to be rehearsing the righteous acts, rehearsing how to apply the judgments, the wisdom to situations. Because during Jacob's Trouble, it's gonna be making judgments after judgment after judgment. Yeah, and if you don't know what judgment to make, it might be,
Right.
Yeah.
Verse 13 in the NLT, it says, well, I can do everything through Hamashiach who gives me strength.
Yeah.
Point, man.
So it ain't talking about you can become the president of the United States.
Right.
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 Yeah, assholes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's something much more spiritual than that.
Right.
But the Christians, you know, they just kind of read it and I can do all things to the Lord who strengthens me.
Right.
No.
Yeah. They got a tattoo on his chest.
Goddamn. Sitting all across the chest and wanted to let it roll. Yeah, something go ahead. Okay, Acts 3:19, somebody got it?
God, this is Acts chapter 3 and verse 19. Repent ye therefore and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out, when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
So the whole first part of the lesson, we got into the time of refreshing. We got into, you know, things being made new. Things are getting ready to be made new on earth. All this damn concrete fucking up your kneecaps. Okay? This is bullshit, man. Man, ain't gonna be no concrete in the kingdom of heaven, man. Think about that. Could you even imagine what a city would look like with no concrete?
Said gold is zero. It said it could be paid with
That's
gold.
what it's gonna be paid with, but to envision it. Like you just 100 years, you never seen concrete.
Right.
You know? That's gonna be beautiful, man. To be out of this, this is a prison. We're in a big jail cell.
Right.
No matter where you go on earth, you're in a jail cell, man. And you don't even, man, there's parts of the earth that people don't even get to go to. These elites have parts of the earth that they go to, man, that's not public. You can't go there. You think they just let y'all niggas, because you got a passport, just go anywhere you want to go?
Right.
Bullshit. All right. Go ahead, I think it's a little more than that. Go ahead, like
Back in Acts 3, verse 20, it says, and he shall send Yahushua HaMashiach, which before was preached unto you, whom the heaven must receive until time of restitution of all things.
The time of restitution is upon us, man. A lot of these, the end time prophecies before the restitution happens, we're seeing them play out. The foundation for them are being set. Okay, that's why we went into, you know, the World War III being, you know, geared up for.
It says, which the Most High hath spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets since the world began.
Yeah, man. So, hey, we're in that time. There's things that were shown to the men of the Lord in that times past, they didn't have the full understanding of, that we have the full understanding of now. Especially that Quran one. You can't do a lesson without mentioning that.
Right.
And plus, I like making these idiots mad. Okay, we're gonna bring it up every lesson.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And not just mention, you know, you look at how the Lord moved, you know, he saw us setting up his certain things, his agendas to move forward, his agenda to do certain things. Even with starting with our 9/11, what did he do? After 9/11, you used to just go right into an airport, walk right straight through there and jump in there, then things change. Now you got to go through so many checkpoints. Take the shoes off, take the belt off, take everything. You got to get damn near naked just to get to the plane. Now and then, like I said, he's gonna set up to this point with what? 2019, 2020 with the pandemic. Now there have been certain things, the restrictions and certain laws that he's set up amongst them. That's what he's gonna do when he's setting up for what? This karate, as the brother mentioned. He's gonna go through certain things to get this set up, and it's gonna be basically shutting down of this free go as you please. He's gonna set up 15-minute city. All right, he's gonna set up where you can't get certain food. All this is what he saw. That's why the Lord got to come back with that great wrath, that anger, because this devil is gonna set up for some major changes that is gonna bring forth what? Death and destruction. He want to be your power. Hey, but like I say, we have that faith, and that's why I wanted to get, because we gotta have when you go into Ephesians 6, it goes on putting on the whole armor of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And like I said, but at all is you gotta have that faith that the Lord is gonna deliver us through what's to come. This is Ephesians 6 and verse 16. It say, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And who is the wicked? Esau Edom. All these things he's gonna be throwing at you. All these different laws, all these things setting up for what? His karate that he want to put in you. The Lord is going to deliver us from what he's setting up to do. It says, verse 17, and the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching whereunto with all perseverance the supplication for all the saints. So that remnant is going to have that spirit of perseverance. We're going to have that spirit of constantly endurance when the times come.
It's Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west. All right, the truth in this time came out of what? The Western Hemisphere. In the North Country, right? The West. That's North. Lord, there's so many clues. Goodness. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. When is that going to happen? During Jacob's trouble.
Right.
The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Okay? So we believe that. We know, this devil is going to try to roll on us, but the Lord ain't going to let him just be touching us like that.
Right.
Some of us are going to be martyrs for the sake of, the Lord being glorified. Because think about the brothers in the Maccabees. Think about that mess with those Edomites that tortured you. After they killed them, it was like, damn, like, they didn't budge. Like they probably never seen nobody move like that in the face of, you torturing the man, you cut his brother up. He gonna be shook up a little bit. You read it, man, they wasn't shook up. They was like, what's up? Yeah, you doing this to us. Each one of them gave a speech that just cut his ass. And those who are martyrs in this time gonna have that same spirit on them. They made it. Those same brothers are back. That spirit is back. But you might look at a brother and he might not be, you wouldn't really see him moving like that. But the Lord gonna endow him with that spirit. The same way he endowed those brothers with that spirit during that time.
Right. Going to that word, spirit, man. The clock. You know what I'm saying? One of the definitions, man, is saying the Lord importing a warlike spirit or warlike energy on it, man. You see, the man of the Lord, they're not scared, man.
Yeah.
See, you got to remember, man, the Lord said that this is my people, my servant shall fight. But when that happened, that's going to usher, all that is going to usher in the Lord coming back. So, so the Lord is going to endow certain men with powers, man.
Yeah.
You see?
It's going to be beautiful. That's that standard. Verse 20. And the Redeemer, so every time you talk about war happening, we talked about this devil trying to get on us. Every time you mention this devil shedding our blood right after, what do the scriptures do? They start talking about deliverance, protection, provision. Our husband he ain't just gonna let nobody just do anything to his woman, man. Right. We're likening it to the Lord's woman.
Right.
And the Redeemer.
Like we're going into that because, like say in Matthew 26, around the 41st verse, it says the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak.
Yeah.
That's going. The Lord is going to lift our standard that is going to overcome that fleshly fear.
That vibration.
That vibration.
During that time, the elect are going to be completely separated from their flesh. They're going to still have emotions to deal with things, but it's going to be a big imbalance.
Right.
With that, the spirit is going to be like, nah, I'm not going to forward. I'm not going to move like the rest of these people are. That's what separates the elect. Right. They're going to be moved by the spirit and not the flesh.
The scriptures say that the Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear.
Right.
By the time we come into these times, those men are going to come into the fullness of that scripture, man. They're going to come into the fullness of that, man. They're not going to have the fear, just like the brother just said, nah, man, I ain't, I'm ready.
They're going to get to the point where they so fed up and had enough, they're going to like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You going to kill me.
Yeah.
But I ain't doing this shit. Think about it, bro.
What's that nigga name? Lorenz Tate. What's it called? What was that?
Army.
Yeah, when he was
yeah.
Damn, what's that name? He knocked him down the stairs. He was like, shoot.
Yeah.
So I had a Lorenz Tate shoot. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna be to the point that we're like, bro, any place is better than this place.
Right.
Yeah.
Be fed up. I'm like that now.
We're fed up now.
The thing is, you gotta. It starts now and it's gonna lead up.
Yeah.
Right. Ain't
It's
locked in the spirit when it's happening. No, it's too
It's
late.
building up.
Gotta
Look,
keep locking in now.
we want to say it's gonna happen this year, but bro, we can be here for another 10 years. I pray to God that we not here that long. Oh my goodness. But if we are though, think about how 10 years ago was this place as wicked as it is now.
No.
It was not even close.
Right.
Think about what another 10 years in this place will look like.
Right.
You're gonna be like, man, I'll do whatever.
Yep.
I'm down for it. Lord, come on. But you saw what you want to do. I don't care. We gonna be the elect are gonna be to a point to where we're gonna stick out like sore thumbs in this society.
I cannot see my daughter graduate.
Come on, man.
I'm
This
sorry.
place, hell no.
What they got to lose to the fuck? That's straight up.
Bro,
Damn, bro.
what is
This just made me sad. Let's think about it.
You already man down.
Go home, look at this kid, man.
Like bullshit. You were about to say something.
this month, Pride Month is gonna be every month, and you're gonna be times 10 years from now.
They gonna have Pride semester out this shit.
Hey, the way this shit going, bro, you can't go to your own home, that ain't no way to eat.
And it's the scriptures talk about the laws getting more draconian. They gonna want to force people to partake in idol worship. The same way they wanted Eleazar to eat the pork in front of people. They gonna, in order to function within the society, they gonna have you have to kind of
Go along.
and it's gonna be to a point where we ain't gonna be able to be here anyway.
Right.
It's gonna be to a point where brothers might have a hard time trying to have a job because we ain't gonna be down for shit.
Right. These bodies made it last with this shit. Body bring it down now. Ain't no way in there.
So the Lord, what I'm reading right here in Isaiah, the Lord gonna have to live up a standard because there ain't gonna be no escape unless there's some divine intervention is taking place.
Right.
Let me finish this out here. Isaiah 59:20. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and to them that return from transgression in Jacob, saith the Lord. So whenever you talk about salvation in the scriptures and you read about it, it always mentions it's for Israel. It doesn't ever mention that it's for everybody. It always mention that it's for Israel. Even John 3:16 for you simpletons, man. It always goes back to the nation of Israel, man. Verse 21. And this puts the exclamation point. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith the Lord. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth, and who was given the administration of prophecy. Children of Israel, Romans 9. And my words which I put in thy mouth shall not depart out of thy mouth, go out of the mouth of thy seed, go out of the mouth of thy seed, saith the Lord, from henceforth and forever. And I guarantee if you look at that word seed, it's going to go back to sperm. Okay? So it's dealing with a particular bloodline. So the people that are truly standing up against the evildoer and clinging onto the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, regardless of what they look like during this time, it's because they go back to a specific seed line.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna get ready to wrap up. What's up?
We're going to finish at 8:30.
Really?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Once that comes early morning, comes off.
Okay, you got precept Monday? Yeah. Anybody else got?
Still got something
I don't want to. Okay, let's keep going then, man. They still gonna be good. Who shall stand for me against the evildoer? Let's get that. And get Ezekiel the 9th chapter. All right, because if you're a part of that portion which is called the elect, if you're a part of those who are going to be saved of the nation of Israel, there's a particular vibration that's going to be on you. You're not going to be okay with the stuff that's going on in this place. You're not going to be like, well, as long as they don't try to do it to me, they are trying to do it to you. They're pushing it on your kids.
Right.
No one is exempt, man.
Come on, man. You got to stand for something or fall for anything.
Psalm 94:16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Yeah, man. So who is the workers of iniquity? Who's pushing this wicked vibration in earth? But when you go to 2 Thessalonians 2, and verse 4 on down through verse 9, there's a man on earth that's carrying out the workings of Satan.
Yep.
Who's pushing this alphabet agenda all across the world? Who's setting up this digital currency so that he can put a chip inside of you in order for you to function within society? Who's trying to control how much goddamn air you breathe? Just carbon footprint. That's what it is.
Right.
This nigga trying to tell you, you was breathing too much today, nigga. Go inside the house.
Right. It's funny because now they have I saw an article, the headline of the article, where they shooting out stipends for groceries now. Oh yeah, you get
Universal income.
you're able to buy all these certain things.
And they gonna feed you. They gonna give you the food that you go. What they want to give.
Right.
It's gonna be people and bugs.
But just give me, yeah, exactly. I just say, hey, I just say, give me about the price.
Yeah.
Right.
These niggas already eating bones. They eat
Yeah.
crab and shrimp.
Impossible meat.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, Bill. Can I say his name?
BG.
Yeah,
BG?
BG, yeah.
That nigga
B Jizzle.
B Jizzle rated R. He ain't rated
Yeah.
13. You rated R.
B
Like
Jizzle was the hot boy, right?
yeah.
Hey, BG the real hot boy. We see the real hot boy, man. God damn. This man he bought what do you got, 40%? It's over 40% of the US farmland. Oh, it's only 60. This thing got more than half of the farmland. So most of the food you eat when you go to grocery stores, you go to restaurants, it's come from the same farmland of the man who said if we can get the population down, if we do a really good job with the vaccine.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
We need a savior, man.
Bro, you gotta forget about that video too. It's still up.
You can't even. Can you find
You
it?
can find it. You can
I
type it in,
have
you
a
can
whole
write
style
it.
find it.
Man, that shit is up, bro.
I gotta go on Google. I can't go on YouTube, bro. It ain't on YouTube.
No, it's on YouTube, bro.
Send that to me, man.
That shit is on YouTube,
I'm gonna
bro.
put it right on Odyssey.
Bro, think about it. They said we do a really good job.
Be careful with those
Of
things.
being-
Yeah, they took that. They took that shit
They
down.
play that shit on YouTube.
Oh, is it?
The brother,
Yeah.
Vegas video. I put that shit up.
Yes, hey, yeah, send it to me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
But they said we do a really good job. Just think about that. We do a really good job to put this stuff in you, this jump shot. You're gonna be we're gonna keep the population down by 15%.
Yeah,
Bro, how do you get a population down?
like the way he said it. Scripture say his words is smooth in his butter.
Yeah.
But what was in his heart?
It's like he said it's cool.
Yeah. He said we do a really good job. And he had a whole chart. He had a whole PowerPoint.
So,
People.
yeah.
These are
Went to
people,
them first,
this is the oxygen, See, he made a whole equation about how he gonna kill you niggas,
Yeah,
man.
and that's what you break it down to. We do a really good job at making y'all sick and putting this stuff in your body. We can kill 15% of you motherfuckers. Excuse my language.
Yeah, man. And these people are adamant. They believe the whole. I believe you, Phil.
Yeah, because we need the population to go down.
You asked, hey, did you guys get vaccinated? Yeah. You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Look, so you see these other nations, man. Look, they're all going along with this man. They believed him, and it's common knowledge now that that's having a negative effect on people.
Right.
Nobody's mad.
Nobody.
Everybody just chilling. They like, yeah, they were still. Yes, we did.
Right.
I don't think for myself.
Yeah.
I think goes right there, right there. Yeah, it's up. It's on the
Not
front.
that,
No, he
That's
on
on
TED
stage,
Talk.
bro.
Yeah, that's what he's
No,
on
no,
TED
no, no,
Talk.
no. What y'all saying? You saying this?
He said the same thing in
The
that one.
brother took the clip.
Oh,
Okay.
That's all I'm
okay.
saying.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the main chat.
Send it to me. Yeah, man.
Actually, that nigga said, we need to get one of these, because he spoke of those different categories. We need to get one of these to 0.
Damn.
He said that we need to get one of these to 0. To
Yeah, he said.
and he started with the people.
Yeah, he started.
And then he went in about the jabs and the birth
All
control
that.
and the Medicare and all of that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. They said 500 million.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Think about how many people? Yeah. How many people?
7 billion.
It was become 8, ain't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
billion. I think it just hit 8 billion last couple months.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
This nigga trying to kill everybody,
Let's
man.
wipe the planet out, man.
So what mean the Lord, the slain the Lord gonna be men. Remember, it ain't Esau. But, no, Esau, yeah, he gonna do it, but the Lord is making him do it.
Right.
Esau
Yeah.
can't do shit without the Lord
Well,
controlling
make
this
him do
nigga.
it. Well,
So the Lord gonna have that much death on the planet by using his fucking
His weapon, his sword.
man. Right.
Esau's one of his weapons.
Right.
Elder Ramloff said it a couple years ago. He said the reason the population is up, and the spirit was on to say that. He said the reason the population is up so much now is all those spirits are back here for judgment.
And the Lord just looked back, Elder Bonner, you know, in Isaiah 24 and verse 1, the Lord said he's going to empty the earth. You know, he says he's going to empty the earth. So that lines up perfectly with what he said. It's the Lord at the end of the day. He gonna use his sword, his tool.
And the devil wants to do that because in his mind, he thinks if I get the population down, then I can control the narrative, I can control the mind at a much higher rate. If I can start everybody from zero,
Right.
then even the generations that come down 100 years from now,
Right.
they're only going to know what I gave them.
Right.
But in reverse, the people are only going to know what we gave them.
Right.
They only going to know righteousness.
Right.
All that other BS they was doing, man, nah, it's
Yep.
this. That's what that 1,000-year period is for, man. And we gonna live it up.
Eldar Not put a video, if I could just add, Eldar Not put a video up earlier today, and I was watching it. And he have like these several different clips. You know what I'm saying? You know, he put the scriptures, but these several different clips. And one of those clips said exactly that. You know, that basically the people that if they have a remembrance of the way things were, they'll resist.
Yeah.
But like you get them to that point where ain't no remembrance of so you gotta get rid of that, break them down, and then basically it comes to the point where they'll, like what you just say, how you just say it?
Well, it comes to the point to where they know nothing else. They have
That's
no
it.
point of reference for anything else.
Yep.
And that's what the Lord wanted to do in the wilderness when he killed off that old generation.
Right.
But they still remember their parents and what the shit they was doing, and the same shit started going on. No, this shit gonna be complete. Y'all reset button.
Right.
We started the game over.
That's it.
They can be hiding idols like they did the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it over.
Hey, that don't say the same shit in any game.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Might have been.
live with what I did. You had to, you know what I'm saying? So this like saying he gonna kill y'all out and create a new world, but they don't know what, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What it was established on
I think it might have been. It might have been
all that
Thanos.
coffee and shit.
It might have been Thanos.
They got the juice too. All you motherfuckers would have got that bullshit, man. Motherfuckers in the hospital going blind.
Right.
He can really play Ray Charles now.
He said next time it happened, the world will be shook. You will be convinced then. You'll see it. You say, no, a lot of people, but the next one, you will be ready. But the next one, when it happens, people will be convinced. They're going to run for a while. They just set everything up in motion now.
And what that setting up for that, man, you saw all the people, they don't know it, but they gave over to idol worship.
Right.
What was one of the main slogans during that time? Trust science.
Yep.
Not trust Yahweh Shah. People put their lives in the hands of figures like BG.
Yeah.
BG. All right, he took y'all for a ride.
Yep.
So people put their salvation in the hands of a man.
Yeah.
They gave the dominion of their soul over to a man, which is ultimately what that receiving that Quran is. You're giving the dominion of your soul over to a man.
Proverbs 14:15, it says, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well into his bones.
Yep. That's why I asked those Edomites when they walked by, hey, y'all get the juice? Yes, we did it. Yes, we did. Thank you. All these nations, man,
Ain't nothing anyway.
they ain't nothing anyway. But you know what? The scriptures also say the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduce them.
Yep.
So majority of our people, they wouldn't got that shit.
Right.
You had Eve up there, 300 pounds with a buzz cut, dye her hair blonde. I'm not asking no questions.
Right.
Yep.
Y'all remember her?
Yeah.
I wonder where she at.
Brown.
Yep. All in the ground. Oh, blood pressure is high. You know it's hard to kill.
Right.
Think about what all this happening. Look at all these young people, all these athletes just start dying off the last couple of years.
Men fighting age males in their prime, just dropping dead. That's unheard of.
What's the name? The one that went Olympics.
Yeah.
The one that gold medal. What's the damn got a name?
An old school chick.
No, she young. She was in her 30s.
Yeah,
like 30. Yeah.
The soccer players are passing out left and right.
Tory something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Died, bro. She said she got a good hand.
Yeah. You're right. God is important on it. That's strange. All right, so yeah, man. This brother got a closing percent of everything? Huh? So you mean Lord willing, let you know, kind of freestyle at the end, but Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. You know, want to give all praises once more to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kakadash.
want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Want to say shalom to all the brothers and of course the few sisters who are pursuing this truth. Sincerity, right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.
Shalom.
That's right there.